to Origins 2018 in Columbus, Ohio with the Dice Tower. I'm Mandy Hutchinson. We're here with Queen Games, specifically speaking with Travis Reynolds.
Hey, how are you?
I am so good. Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely, glad to be here.
I am excited to see what's in front of me here. I like the theme we're going for. As you can see, that is something I enjoy. So can you tell us a little bit about the game? It's franchise.
Sure, this is franchise. In franchise, we're running different businesses, restaurants, laundromats, car dealerships, and so on, and we're looking to spread our business out. We all start in a small town, but we all want to move to a bigger town and make the money, right?
That sounds kind of like life a little bit.
That's life. So the way we do that,
okay.
We're all going to start with one franchise for our business in one of the small towns, which are all the circles, the smaller circles around the map.
Okay.
The advanced variant, there's a pre-programmed, everybody starts here, but the advanced variant is starting with the last player you're going to choose, coming back to the first player. So you can kind of say, okay, I want to go here,
right.
I'm going to try to move there.
So are these always, when you start, these are always out?
Yeah, those are always the big cities. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So once we do that, then everybody gets to take their turn. The first thing you do on your turn is collect income.
Oh, I like that.
You always collect at least one, which we can see here.
Okay.
But further on down the line, you're going to look at any city where you have a franchise and count the empty spaces.
Okay.
So the more businesses there, the less money each person can make.
Ooh.
But right there, I would collect a 6 from Chicago, and I would go up to 6.
Okay.
And I'd collect 3. But you total them all, and that's how much money you collect.
So for example, if I had this one here, then I would just, it basically would tell me I would get less from that.
Yeah, you would have a number of 5, and 5 was down to the next level, so you'd only get 2.
Okay,
exactly.
Perfect.
Right. So that's the first thing you do on your turn, which is here.
Okay.
Second thing you're going to do on your turn is expand your business.
Okay.
So we all start in a small town, like I mentioned. So if I'm here in the first turn, I can take this marker and I can place it on any of the towns I have routes to.
Okay.
So we have a route here, and a route here, and a route here. Let's say I choose to go to Billings. Put that there.
Okay.
I'm going to pay the route cost. The route cost for that one is 0.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
This one would have cost me 1, and they go 3, 5, and the big pink ones are 8.
And this is money?
Yes, that's out of your money.
Okay.
Yes. So that's how I get into the city.
Okay.
It's going to sit there because I don't actually have a franchise yet.
All right.
The next turn is marketing. Anywhere where I have a franchise, on the marketing turn, I can pay $1 and place another franchise.
Oh.
So that's how we populate the cities beyond the expansion.
Okay.
So those will sit there until I decide, okay, I'm done. At that point, I'll take this off.
Okay.
I'll put a house in the first spot in that city, and I'll put that in the second spot in that city.
Okay.
And that would be the end of my turn.
So how is this benefiting you? Are you getting more income by doing this?
Well, I'm getting less income, but I'm going to move towards scoring points.
Okay, that was my next question.
So how do we score the cities? Cities score when one of 2 things happen.
Okay.
If a city fills up completely, then the player with the most franchises there is going to score half of the printed value on the tile.
Okay.
Ties are broken based upon who placed first in the city.
Okay.
So getting there first gives you that edge.
Right.
If you achieve a absolute majority, when you have over half of the number of franchises, you score immediately.
Okay.
Even if you're the only person there.
So that's it, and you just score.
And you get the full printed value for having them.
Wow. And some of them are, what's the highest value? Is 8? Is that 9 or 6?
That's
that's a 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's 3 really big ones. There's New York, Chicago, and LA, 7, 7, and 8.
Okay.
And everything else is scores, and it kind of trickles down from there. So you score the whole printed value when you do that.
Right.
When you do that, you're going to take all your franchises off except for 1. You're going to leave 1, and everybody else's franchise would sit in the city.
Okay.
So if red scored, it'd look something like that, maybe.
Okay.
All right?
I see.
Now that's going to be key at the end when that region is full, because then we're going to score the regions as well.
Oh, lots of scoring. I like that.
So if red, let's say blue actually scored this one. So blue would have left 1 there, red had 1 there, and blue would have put 1 down in that box that I can't reach. We'll pretend it's this region, okay? When this region and everything here is full, all the tiles are gone and all the small cities are full, we're going to score this region.
Okay.
Whoever has the most franchises left on the board is going to win the region. So by scoring that city, I lost a couple, but maybe I still have enough out there, I don't know.
Okay.
The tiebreaker, if you're tied on region scoring, is whoever has this, the very first city that was scored in that region gets to put a piece here.
Oh, fantastic.
So if it's you, you would win the tiebreaker. But if it's not you,
right,
and I'm part of the tie, I'm next from you in player order, so I would win the tie.
Okay.
Right. So first place gets the first score.
Right.
Second place gets the second. And finally, everyone who has at least a house there gets the third score, or a franchise there. Okay. I keep wanting to say houses because these are house pieces.
Well, they look like houses,
yes.
Exactly. And is this, so this is endgame, or is this one that can...
As soon as the region is full, it scores. We would take that tile and put it on this track down there.
Okay, so that's what the track is.
And the active player, even if they don't win the region, the player that caused the region to close gets a bonus score, which you can see of the purple down there at the bottom.
So that's the purple on the bottom.
Yep. So even if you didn't win the region, you can get the bonus score.
Still get some points.
When 8 regions have closed, that will be the last turn of the game.
Okay.
So there are 10 on the board, but when 8 close, you might close them all if somebody was really aggressive on their last turn.
Right.
But that will end the game. And at that point, whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. One thing we didn't talk about were these bonus tiles.
Okay.
And you can use those on your turn. You can use at most 1, and you can't use 1 in the first turn.
I'm just going to put them here. It might be a bit easier to see.
Sure.
All right, yeah, keep going.
You can use those during your expansion turn to expand to 2 cities instead of 1.
Okay.
And you can use it during your marketing turn to place 2 houses in 1 city, 2 franchises in 1 city, which could be very key because it's getting close to closing and you want the majority to get the full points instead of half or something like that. And you can also turn it in at any time if you're broke and get $10.
Oh, well, that's all right.
And if you don't use them, they're worth 3 points at the end.
Okay, there's no loans or anything in this type of game?
Nope, no loans. You get income every turn. If you're not doing well enough, then you chose poorly.
That sounds like something that I would do. I am not good with these types of games where I have to manage money. I know, say what you will. Connections, do they count for anything? It seems like a game where connections would give you extra points, or it's just easier for you to branch out. Like, do you need to be on somewhere in order to branch somewhere else?
In order to go somewhere, you have to have a connection. And again, whatever the connection is, whether it's if it's green, you pay 3.
You just have to pay.
Right. So, I mean, you can go from Chicago directly to New York. It's going to cost you $8.
Right.
Or you can go to Detroit and then go to New York. But it's going to take you 2 turns, and it would still cost you actually 8 in that case. So there are some combinations where it's going to be cheaper, but the bigger route might be faster.
Okay.
Like Phoenix all the way to Chicago, obviously it would take you a while to get to Chicago otherwise.
But there's nothing that is, I guess, majority in the fact if you're a majority in an area that helps you, but majority of connections at all doesn't count for anything. It's just the areas.
Right. The routes are just for moving around.
Just for getting to. Okay. And are there any other variants in the game, or it's just the ones that you had discussed with the beginning with the turns?
Well, that's really the only variant in the game. You know us, we do a lot of mini expansions and stuff called, they're the Queenies. So I haven't seen any yet, but I would expect there'll be something.
Okay.
We usually do quite a few of those things.
And is it going to stay? Is this final? Actually, maybe I should start with that.
I'm not sure whether the box is going to get bigger or the board's going to get smaller. But one of those things, we do it. You know, we have the big boxes, so it would fit. But I would guess the board is going to be a little smaller and fit in this box.
Okay.
So no, this is not final, but it will be soon.
Okay, and it was just good because I mean, looking at some of the art, it's really nice that you've presented. Color-wise, worried for people who potentially, are colorblind. So are these some things that are being taken into consideration?
Yeah, we need some icons on the region, and then an icon in that so that you can identify. Yeah, there's still some.
So there's still work to be done.
Sure.
Right, and it's in progress. But no, it sounds very interesting. I mean, I love games that have that kind of food chain magnet kind of vibe. Mind you, I also enjoy the theme of this game, so that instantly draws me. I mean, everyone knows I'm a big fan of Amerigo from Queen Games. You do well-produced games, I find.
Amerigo's great.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. And Merlin, which I know is going to be a big one here.
Sure.
So when is this going to be available?
So this will be at Essen.
Okay.
We're going to have it on Kickstarter in August with our other 2 Essen releases, which is Skylands and Bastille.
Oh, okay. Can you tell me a little bit about those?
Those are still in development in Germany. I haven't really played them yet. We have the German rules, and I don't read German, so they're being translated. So we'll have them. There'll be more information. The BGG pages are going up.
Okay. So people can go on BGG, find out a little bit more about those, and that's Essen, you were saying?
Yeah.
Okay, and then this one's Kickstarter. Sorry, remind me again, Kickstarter?
It'll actually be all 3 of them together in Kickstarter in August.
Okay, and for shipping, I know sometimes it's hard with the shipping. Is it going to be something that's widely available?
I think after Essen, it will be probably next year.
Right. Okay, which is great, because I've noticed that some of your games that were on Kickstarter were hard for people to get, you are making it available at some of the
Merlin and
conventions.
Pioneers. So both of those are about through the first print run. We actually have another one scheduled for Merlin and I think Pioneers. The first print run was between Kickstarter and it was gone. But I think after Gen Con, you'll see Merlin in distribution here in the U.S.
Oh, which is fantastic, because so many people, I know Susan and I talked about on the podcast, I even have Suze running to get a copy as well, because I enjoyed it. So I'm really happy to see that it's available. And so generally, what's the length of time of play for this game?
I would say the first time, as with all games, the more complicated it takes a little longer, but this isn't a very heavy game. I think it's about an hour to maybe an hour and 15, something like that.
Okay, and would you say like mid-weight?
Yeah, definitely mid-weight. Did you ever play Medieval Merchant?
I have not.
Yeah, this is a similar game. It's it's a rebuild of that.
Okay.
It's different than Medieval Merchant, but that was a very popular Euro back in the...
Said the magic words.
Back in us old guys' days.
No, you said Euro. I love Euro, so now I have to try this. Fantastic. And how many players and age-wise?
It plays 5. I would say age is probably going to end up being 10, maybe 12.
Okay, so that's a good. I definitely. It's interesting to me, and I'm looking forward to seeing when it's finally done. If people have questions or where to get a hold of you, where can they find you?
Well, we've got Facebook for English, Facebook for German, Facebook for French.
Oh,
they can find us on our website, Twitter pages.
So you're all over.
Yep.
You're all over the social media.
Smoke signals.
All right, this is great. So you can get a hold of Queen Games in any way, fashion, or form. Thank you so much, Travis, for showing us Franchise, which is coming soon. This isn't final, and looking forward to visiting the booth and seeing more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. So thanks, everyone, for joining us at Origins 2018 in Columbus. I'm Mandy, signing off.